Hi Cancer, here's a general look at your solar chart for December 2011, and may I wish you a Merry Christmas. Now there's a real practical feel to this month, but also there's a good energy around which is going to give your relationships a boost, your love life a boost in some cases, or just, friendships and family and so on. So you'll want to get organized with basic stuff though. Activity is focused into the practical material aspects of life, and you will probably have more contact with service providers, or be performing more of a service for others, and close relationships of all kinds should really benefit from the position of Venus up until the 21st. You and someone could really hit it off with each other. You just feel that you and someone kind of click and you have a rapport together. Your mind will probably be more upon all of these practicalities and the to-do list and sorting out things. Sometimes repairs and maintenance can be happening at this time as well. Correspondence, general paperwork, more creative self-expression as well, given it's the festive season. And you also keeping a weather eye on health, might be your health, might be another's health. You also keeping your ears and eyes open for what's new on the block related to practical things like equipment and maybe remedies and therapies and anything around communications equipment or vehicles, transport, travel, that kind of thing might be highlighted. Actually, Mercury is going to be retrograde until mid-month, so that means that you might, your best laid plans might have to be rethought to a degree, or just you having to be more thorough. But when Mercury goes direct from mid-month onwards, you should start getting the picture clearer, getting back into gear with things. Also, another thing is you could be learning some new know-how, or just applying your know-how, and you could be working over the wires as well quite strongly at this time. In fact, I'm going to say further than this time, you could be working over the wires quite strongly, particularly up until into January as well. That's because Mercury is going to be in that area, so lots of socializing to do, sort of centered around a working type, service orientated environment, bouncing ideas off others, and maybe teaming up with someone as well, or certain people as well. So the job, daily tasks, social life centered around the job, daily tasks and health matters are going to be a feature here. But in general, I'd say any exchange is likely to be going well and be more friendly, possibly romantic, and even materially beneficial to you in a big or a small way, depending on your natal chart and where things are. And also your own ability to create what you want, to manifest what you want. So it's potentially a very good time also for business negotiations and feeling just more rapport in close relationships, whether they're business ones or personal ones. Really, as I say, you feeling that sort of flow happening in your relationships. Until the 21st, you'll have a chance to really develop relationships, exchange information, practical, those very practical feel, clarify your thinking through perhaps being in that flow of information exchange, picking each other's brains. Possibly you and someone could have a clash of opinions. That's because where Mars is, there's always one, isn't there? And you might have to look for, a solution, or thrash out a plan, or whatever. But you're going to be very, very strong in the area of communications, and that's, in your locality and over the wires for quite a long time. So good time to be developing your speaking and writing skills and your people skills, and trying to see things more through their eyes, walking in their shoes might be a good idea during this period, because Mars can be pretty feisty there. However, it would be smart, you might find it's easier to get what you want, or to get the message across if you use those sorts. I'm sure you don't use harsh methods anyway, but Mars can, in your communication sector, can bring out that grumpy, irritable side of you that harks back to the past and keeps on going on about, slights and faults to do with the past that you're never going to forget, because your sign, Cancer, has got a memory like an elephant. From the 21st is when things may get more intimate, more sizzly for some of you in one-to-one personal relationships. It's also a good time, to be making money for some reason out of a reciprocal arrangement with somebody. You give them something and they give you something back in exchange. Also, it's a good time to have a heart-to-heart talk, to really take somebody into your confidence in a very sort of confidential kind of a way, or other way around, And it's also the beginning of more emotionally kind of stable sort of a time as well, when Venus moves on the 21st. So I think your social life is going to be very, very interesting, and perhaps somewhat demanding, really stretching you at times, and you could be mixing and mingling and flying hither and thither more than usual. Great time for connecting and getting to know others in person or over the wires, like I said, particularly up into January time. More on that later. And being very much in the flow of information exchange, so you're going to be learning a lot, but remember, listen to feedback. Keep your ear close to the ground. And also this month is a real practical slant with all of this. You getting busy, maybe getting your head around a new piece of kit even, which is probably likely given, as I say, the festive season we're all in. But feeling a little bit scattered, or maybe nervy or overstretched at times, so just pace yourself and know when to say no and stop and just chill out. Now, I said earlier about, you might have to soften your tone a little bit, because with Mars here, feisty Mars, the adrenaline planet, the testosterone planet, you can come across as a little bit too assertive in the eyes of others, whether it's meant or not, or too nitpicky, or too kind of sort of grumpy, or you might get grumpy because of what somebody else has said to you, which for them means nothing and is just a casual, silly remark, but for you it kind of cuts you really deeply, because you are this very sensitive sign, Cancer. So with Mars here, that's even more likely. People know how to push your buttons, and there can be a little bit of, crossing of swords going on, and you are maybe seen as provocative or bossy or whatever. But you are this is actually a really good transit for you to get things off your chest and to develop yourself through speaking and writing and creative, any other way of, through any other medium of expression. A very creative area Mars is in, very self-expressive area. So this is not the time to kind of zip your lip. This is the time to, in a smart way, in a soft way, but in maybe, in a clever way, get that point across. And be assertive and enterprising, but like I say, with that sort of little bit of charm there. But as I say, you might find others in your surroundings are a little bit more aggressive than usual from time to time. But you're going to get used to this, because actually Mars is going to be there for several months. It's going to be in your communication sector and also your area of education for several months, past the middle of 2012. It's a very long time, and for some of you this is a great time to be taking a course or some training, or giving guidance, or training others yourself. From the 22nd, you will be cooperating or liaising, probably even more than before, but in a lighter, less practical, lighter kind of a way. And good for friendships, good for family life, good for love relationships, and good for professional relationships as well. Then there's going to be a total solar eclipse on the 10th, which is going to open the door for you to make positive changes related to your self-nurture, knowing that all work and no play is actually no good for you at all. And also, if you work a lot inside or with computers, then you might want to be looking at grounding mats or earthing mats, universal earthing mats, which actually, once you are touching them, you are picking up through your feet the energy from the core of the earth, and these are amazing things. So more self-nurture, getting out into nature, as well. More connecting with your higher self, deeper understanding of yourself. This bodes very well, this solar eclipse, for you making positive change in those directions. And also, you might find that others tend to lean on you, and again, you can make positive changes there where you've got better work-play balance, which is just healthier. Now, every month I speak about the slower moving outer planets, and I'll do so again here, but if you want to, you can leave this video now and just go read it on my website at some point. So Jupiter is now in Taurus, very good angle to your sun sign Cancer. That's favorably highlighting anything like I'm doing here, networking, forums, blogs, whatever. Also your social life, a club, a group, a society, friendships. It's wonderful for making new friends or connecting up with old friends. And over and above everything, it's a great one for helping you really make progress in your life now. This one is not to be missed. This where Jupiter is up until June next year. Really pushing forwards and maybe into unconventional, quite futuristic areas or with unusual material. And you're learning an awful lot as you go along there. Now Saturn is making a powerful aspect to your sign as well, affecting the home base, your place on the map, family relationships. It's all about your roots. It's about where you're anchored, outside and inside, and often I would say that feeling the balance, the emotional balance and the anchoring inside is the most important thing, because then everything is reflected around you depending on how you feel, and you have powerful feelings and you're aware of your feelings, Cancer. Those in your inner circle or neighborhood, there might just be something blocking or demanding about that, awkward at times, difficult at times, you feeling there's adversity around you, that because of what you've got around you can't get to doing what you'd like to be doing, or feeling emotionally at ease because of these certain situations around you, whether they're right in your home, in your own backyard, or out in the locality. But you're learning from this, you're learning how to be more self-reliant, and you're learning how to look after yourself better, and you will be growing, but you need to discover what your own deeper emotional needs are, and also what conditioning you may be carrying around, which is actually getting in your way, and you need to kick it out. Those with 23 to 29 degrees of Cancer rising, or those born around the 16th to 27th of July, are likely to feel Saturn's influence mostly this month, particularly those born in the July sector. But if you have a very unusual chart, because you're born very high or very low in the world, it might not be exactly in that area for you, but that's a whole other subject. Now, Uranus is also making a powerful aspect to your solar chart. That is signaling new beginnings with your life direction in general, with your profession, your role that you play on the wider stage, and there's likely to be sudden change and consequent expansion, hopefully. You using new and unusual methods that you've never used before. But you may feel ambushed from time to time, and you just got to be ultra flexible and keep pace with things and just roll with the changes. This can also be related to a parent. No. Yes. This can also be related to a parent, and it could be the father energy that you feel sort of ambushed with at times. Father energy in particular, or male authority figures, but also it can just mean authority figures, but it points more towards the male side. This month Uranus will be affecting those of you born 22nd to 23rd of June, or with up to the first couple of degrees of Cancer rising. Neptune's moved back into the late Aquarius, blurring boundaries again over, who's got control over the space, or who's got control over the money, or you knowing that even though you might not feel that comfortable with it, you rely on them for certain things and they rely on you for certain things. Also, it might not be money and property, it might be, in a relationship, and there can be occasional struggles there because you get the wrong end of the stick, or they do, or it's just all up in the air and it's not clear. But that's only going on until February now, and that's been working in that area. Neptune's been working through that area for a very long time. On the upside, Neptune here gives you refined sense of what you value most in life, a more compassionate feeling towards others, and trying to get to understand what makes them tick. Also, it hugely can increase your psychic ability and your healing ability. You Cancerians born, did I say that? I don't think I did. 22nd of June to the 1st of 22nd of June, or the 1st degree of Cancer rising, or the last couple of days, 21st to 22nd of July, and the last couple of degrees of Cancer rising are likely to feel this mostly this month. And Pluto as well as Uranus and Saturn is making a very strong aspect, evolving you, sometimes making it feel a little bit uncomfortable as you go forwards, but that's what Pluto's job is. So there can be endings and beginnings and occasional struggles there with yourself, probably mostly, because Pluto's going to change your life in meaningful ways, and those of you who've been through it will know what I mean when I say you have to dig very, very deep sometimes, because somebody out there that you care about is kind of really shaking your world up, and you're connected to them, and you've got to be connected to them in some way, because there's a deeper bond there, and you know that you are doing a karmic dance almost with them. So deeper feelings are going to be triggered. You can feel like you're going through the ringer sometimes, and it can have a profound effect. But oh my goodness, you're going to learn, and you're going to mature, and you are going to realize how far you've come when you look back over your shoulder down the line. Cancerians born 26th June to 1st of July, or with 4 to 9 degrees of Cancer rising, are likely to be feeling the influence most strongly this month. Well, that's it for December. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, you might try listening to those. They might make sense to you. See if they do. And once again, I hope you have a happy time over the Christmas holidays, and I'll see you the next time.